Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the casino that is the stock market. My name is Shades. If it's your first time here, be sure to subscribe and give the video a like. It really helps the channel grow. Now let's jump into the video. Today I'm going to go over Aitx and the potential net return if you were to follow the strategy that I set out for you guys. This is the strategy that I use, and I'm going to go in depth and do the math for you to show you the net return if you were to buy Aitx as close to the bottom as possible. Again, it's very difficult to time the absolute bottom, so we're not going to assume that we buy the absolute bottom every time. We're going to assume that we buy a little bit above the bottom. And this stock, as you can see on the charts, it loves to have 2 runs a year on average. So what does the math come out to in terms of net positive return? Okay, so here's what I do. I have a rule. I don't put in more than 10K into a penny stock. I've always stuck with that rule ever since I lost money on Sybil stock, chasing it at 6.5 cents when Moon Market was pumping it and saying, oh my God, Sybil's going to go to 25 cents. It's going to go to dollars. The OTC bull run, the guy was pumping it. He was pumping that in Aitx. I don't think he was pumping Aitx because I think he thought Aitx was garbage. Well, it is garbage compared to Sybil and Aitx back then, at least. Not how times have changed, right? Now it's like the complete opposite because Aitx does communicate and they're not in CE. So funny how things work. But I lost money and I decided, you know what? I lost money. Like I put in more than 10K and I lost a bit of money. So I decided then, okay, whoa. How do I prevent myself from losing as much as I did with Sybil? Well, number one, let's exercise patience and discipline and wait for the penny stock to bottom. Because they pump and they eventually dump and come right back down nice and cheap. Number two, I also learned not to go crazy and add 5, 6, 7 figures worth of money into a penny stock, which a lot of people did, and they held that bag all the way down, unfortunately, on Aitx, Aitx, Sybil, and many other stocks, I'm sure. They're out there. So I saw the mistakes of other people, and I'm like, okay, let's have a rule. No more than 10K in a penny stock. And let's stick to it, and I've stuck to it since then. Okay? Because then when you take a loss on a 10K position, it's nothing. Compared to putting in 6 figures, you're probably not going to want to sell that at 50% or 80% loss, because that really does suck. That really, for a lot of people, that's a lot. It hurts a lot, and that's why they hold the bag and average down. But that's their fault for overexposing themselves. That's why I have this 10K rule. Because 10K rule, oh, I lose 4K. Ooh, so scary. That's nothing. I'm sure some of you can agree. Like, yeah, that's actually nothing compared to the 6 figures that one guy put in and is holding that bag. Because he just doesn't want to sell at such a huge loss. So that's why that rule is in place. If you follow that rule, you will never get destroyed by penny stocks like that Warrior 05 guy. So that's why that rule is in place. It's probably the most important rule ever. And you'll see why as I continue going down the strategy. Okay, so you start with 10K. We're going to trade with 10K, no more, no less. This is what we start with. We buy as close to the bottom as possible. We're not going to assume that we always buy at 002s. We're going to assume that we buy at 3s like I bought recently at 3s. Again, very difficult to time the exact bottom. So you buy at 003s. It runs 50% on average. We did the math. The stock likes to run on average 50 to 500%, sometimes 300%. So if we just trade like an algorithm and say, okay, no more than 10K, when it comes down as close to the bottom as possible, we buy 10K's worth of shares and we set a take profit of 50%. And our stop loss is the reverse split. Again, I know that sounds weird, right? Wait, you're not using a stop loss based on price? Nope, because it's Aitx, it's a penny stock. It's too volatile to really set a stop loss. It's better to... Really, the only thing that could destroy you is the reverse split and maybe massive dilution. So that's the stop loss is not, it's not a normal stop loss. It's the reverse split happening. That is the stop loss. Okay, and the take profit, you set a take profit of 50% every single time. Now let's see what happens. You set a take profit of 50% every single time, and you get 2 runs a year, right, on average. So you make an extra $5,000 on the first run. And you're happy, you're content, you're like, wow, I just made 50% on 10K. That's 5K, holy crap, that's a lot of money. And here's where people fall apart. A lot of people, a lot of the not so smart ones, to put it nicely, They fall apart here because they do the math in their head and they go, wow, I just turned 10K into 15K. I just made 50% gains on this. Imagine if I had put in 100K. Imagine if I had put in my entire net worth. What if I had put in 300K, 800K? Like, wow, I would have made more than the salary of an engineer. Like, I think I'm going to go in with all of my net worth. I think I'm going to go in with all of my money, all my savings. Like, I think I'm going to make so much money. I think this is like, they fall into that trap, and they immediately, by falling into that mindset, they break the rule of only trading with 10K or less, and they break the rule of being disciplined and patient. And they look at this 15K and they go, well, screw that. I'm going to put in, 500K or 50K or 80K, whatever the number may be. And then they hold the bag all the way down because they don't want to sell at a huge loss. Because taking a $250,000 loss or more, that really does hurt. But see, you fall into that trap, and now you're just averaging down and digging a deeper hole for yourself as you average down, as it goes from 25 to 0, or from 50 cents to 0, double zeros, I should say. Or Sybil, which went from 6.5 to double zeros. So everything fell to double zeros, right? A lot of bag holders were created, and most of them did not want to take the loss because they overexposed themselves, because they fell into that trap like, wow, I could make so much, let me go in with so much more. So this is why I was saying it's so important to trade like an algorithm. And so we're not dumb like that. We're smart. So what we're going to do is we're going to continue to trade with that same 10K. The other 5K, we're going to put it off to the side, and we're going to be content like, wow, I made 5K, woohoo, right? Let's not be greedy and put in 100K in hopes of making 50K in one trade. Because you never know when you might have to take the loss, or in this case, you're going to hold the bag all the way down, which is neither of those things those are not good strategies, guys. Not with penny stocks. Averaging down in Nvidia, sure, it comes back up for you because it's such an amazing stock if you look at that stock long term. But this ain't no Nvidia. This is Aitx. So we're going to be disciplined. We're going to trade like an algorithm. We put our 10K in, and guess what? We make another 5K, right? Because it likes to run on average 50%. We would have missed out on the 300. We could have made 300, 500% if we didn't sell at 50%, if we didn't set that take profit at 50%. But hey, look, we're sticking to the algorithmic strategy here. We don't change anything. So you make another 5,000, and now you have a total of 20,000. In 1 year, you doubled, well, technically in less than 1 year, because the runs like to happen at the beginning of the year and middle of the year. In 6 months, you already doubled your money. Okay? In 6 months, you already doubled your money. Now, again, people fall into the same trap. They look at this and they go, wow, I just doubled my money in 6 months. You know what? If I had put in $500,000, I could have had $1 million right now. I could have been a millionaire. If I had put in 50K, I could have had 100K, and then I can turn that 100K into 200 and then 400K, and they just fall into that trap like I talked about already. But again, we stick to the game plan. But you know what's awesome is your net positive return every year is 100%. You double your money every year. And again, this pattern has been consistent for years now. Loves to have a lot of runs every year, 2 on average, and on average 50% minimum of a move. So that's why I chose 50%. Now, if you choose to hold for more, it's possible that you can triple or quadruple your money. But again, we're sticking to the algorithmic trading bot here. You don't want to trade like a human. You just trade like a bot. Take profit at 50%. You're happy. You're content. You double your money every year, and next year you double it again. So 40K, and then you double it again, 80K. And here's the thing. Remember, you're still trading with the same 10K. So the one time, remember the stop loss, right? The stop loss is the reverse split. We know that reverse split is coming at some point in the future. So you made 80K, you turn 10K into 80K, and then you enter a trade with the same 10K. Remember, this is why you don't overexpose yourself and go crazy. And then Steve Reinhardt says we're going to reverse split. The stock tanks, because that's what happens when reverse splits are announced. The stock absolutely gets destroyed. Let's not pretend otherwise. That is not bullish. That's never been bullish. For anyone who tells you that is absolutely insane. So you put in your other 10K, the reverse split announcement is made, and let's just say you take the $10,000 loss. Let's just assume the worst in this case, and you lose it all. Well, guess what? You made 70K. You lost 10K. you still ended up winning. You still ended up winning, guys. Now, someone that's so desperate to make a lot of money in the markets, they would have done the stupid thing. They would have made all this money every year, and then the one time the reverse split is enacted, they get their $500,000 account gets absolutely demolished. And then they join the Aitx Discord and pretend like everything's hunky dory. And that's it for the video, guys. Hopefully the takeaway is there's a lot of money to be made in the markets if you're patient, if you're disciplined. I just gave you the strategy. If you can follow that strategy, you will make money. But just keep in mind, at some point you will take that one loss. And if you do the stupid thing of, holy crap, I just made an extra 5K, and then you double it again, that's 20K. And then you decide, you know what, I'm going to trade with all 20K. The one time you take a loss, you wipe out your entire account. The moment you become undisciplined, and let's say you have that 80K, and you decide, you know what, I'm going to put all 80K in because I want to make more than just 5K every trade, then 10K every year. I'm not content with doubling my money. The one time you decide to be undisciplined and the reverse split happens, that stock's you're either gonna hold a massive bag, or you take the loss, or you just get completely wiped out. And just like that, you've destroyed years worth of discipline and patience. That is why that 10K rule that I was harping on at the beginning of this video, that's why I said this is the most important thing. Never overexpose yourself, or you end up like Warrior 05 or the many other bank holders that are out there. I think part of the reason that I got banned, if I recall, yeah, that's right, I got banned from Aitx Discord. I made a whole joke. Let me see if I can show you guys this joke that I made. Let me pull it down here. I made a whole Aitx Discord crying index, now sobbing, crying on the left side, euphoria on the right side. You can keep track of them in the aitx.ai public Discord. Let me see. Aitx stock. Discord, no, not discussion, Discord. Yeah, you can go here and you can keep track of them, and you can get a feel for how they feel. For the most part, they've been complaining like, oh, I don't understand why this stock isn't going up. It's just going sideways. It's not going up. When they start crying like that, or in this case sobbing, I would label that as sobbing. When they start sobbing, it's probably time to buy. Combine that with haters. I'm going to make a haters index because the haters were nowhere to be found when the stock was absolutely skyrocketing 500%. They only come out after they come out on the dump, never on the pump. That's what's funny. It's funny how that works. It's like you can use humans as indicators, and I think that's hilarious. So that's why I created the Aitx Discord crying index, and I'm going to create the haters index, which is completely like it's time to buy in my opinion. Again, picking the absolute bottom, very difficult. You don't have to follow this strategy that I set out for you. Absolutely make adjustments or continue to trade however you trade. Because, you can make more. Technically, you can. If you hold and you get more than a 50% move, I mean, you can probably make 4x in 1 year. Let's be real. Because of when this thing runs, what a pump. I mean, here it ran from 002 to 006. That's a 300%. And then here from 002 to 0099. So assuming best case scenario, I mean, you could have really made some bank there. You could have tripled your money on the first trade, and then 5x your second trade, and you would have had a total of 80K. Whereas it would take me years to hit that 80K using the 50% take profit strategy and trading like an algorithm. Or you could have made more by absolutely dumping a degenerate amount of money. But again, you take that huge risk of the one time you're wrong, you get wiped. So that's just something to think about. I mean, it's up to you how you want to take the risk. But I just showed you how I do it. When I take a loss, it's not a big deal. I'm just like, oh, I took a loss, whatever. Because I'm not putting in 5-figure, 6-figure, or anything. That's insanity. That is why that one guy is absolutely financially destroying himself. Because he did stupid things, and we're better than that. We're smarter than that. And hopefully you walked away learning something. I've been making a lot of lesson videos. Like, I didn't realize that people like that one guy existed. Like, I've heard about them, but you don't really believe it until you really meet them. And being in a Discord call for 6 months with this guy and hearing his story, and he was down on his luck, but it's kind of his own fault. Like, you're inflicting financial pain on yourself and you keep doing it over and over again. And you're aware of it. you got problems, and no one wants to be part of that train wreck. He wanted to hang out because he lives in Illinois. I was about to say where he lives, but he lives in Illinois is what he said. He wanted to hang out, and I'm just like, why would I? I didn't say this to his face, but I thought to myself, why would I hang out with a train wreck? I don't want no part of that. No, thank you. I tried to help him. Some people you just can't help. They have to help themselves, and that's it for the video, guys. Hopefully. It was eye opening to say the least, and hopefully this was eye opening for you. There's just so much money to be made if you are patient and disciplined. And that is it for the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I will see you in the next one if you enjoy more of these data based algorithmic lesson videos.